All right, so this next scenario is a very helpful one, or a common one. So the question is, how long can I stay down on my second dive? And again, this is just considering decompression. We're not thinking about the amount of gas we have at this point, or the time, or how warm we are, just thinking about decompression. So what is my no decompression limit on my second dive? So we're going to build on what we've established so far. So here we've got a 19-meter dive for 25 minutes, a 55-minute surface interval, and then on our second dive, we want to go to 11 meters. How long can we spend at 11 meters depth? So let's follow the same progression we've been doing. So 19 meters, we're going to round up to the 20-meter column. 25 minutes, so we're going to go down until we hit 25. There's 25. So after that first dive, we're at pressure group J. Now we have a 55-minute surface interval. And so we're going to scroll here until we hit 55. There it is. So 55 minutes falls within 50 minutes and an hour and 11 minutes. And so after the surface interval, we are at pressure group C. All right? So now the question is, how long can we spend at 11 meters? So now we're going to introduce the other half of this dive table. So if you go to your e-learning, you'll see there's two sides of this table. So here's what the other side looks like. And now we have depth in rows along the left side. And again, this can be in meters or in feet, depending on which you use. And on the top columns here, we have our pressure group at the end of our surface interval. And you'll notice at the intersection between any given pressure group and depth, there are going to be two numbers, a white number and a blue number. And there's a nice little key down here that reminds you of what these are. The white area is your residual nitrogen time. We'll get to that in the next scenario. Right now, we're interested in the blue number. So the blue number is your adjusted no decompression limit. How long can you stay down on a given dive at a given depth based on the pressure group that you're starting that second dive at? So we have an 11-meter dive as our second dive. So we're going to, again, round up to 12 meters. And then we're going to go over to the pressure group C column, because if you remember from last time, after that surface interval, we were at pressure group C. So pressure group C intersects with the 12-meter row right here. We've got these two numbers, 23 and 124. And so these are time. This is minutes. So for this question, how long can we spend on this second dive? That is our blue number, our adjusted no decompression limit. And so at this 11-meter dive, we can spend 124 minutes on that 11-meter dive. So you'll notice here that an 11-meter dive, we can spend 124 minutes after our surface interval. If you go back and look, if this were your first dive, you could have spent 147 minutes at depth rather than 124. So you'll notice our no decompression limit is a bit shorter to account for the fact that we started the second dive in pressure group C. We started the second dive with excess nitrogen in our tissues. So we need to account for that and adjust our no decompression limit.